All right, y'all. Things move rapidly in free agency. And I'm going to move rapidly on this one right here because I want to hit a couple of topics. Seahawks plan to release Quinton Jefferson. Quinton Jefferson being released is a little odd to me. I thought he would come in and do his thing getting after the passer, man. That boy was on point doing that last year in a reserve role or a rotational role, however you want to qualify that. Just adding that quality depth would let me believe that, hey, Shelby Harris gone, Quinton Jefferson gone, you replaced him with Draymond Jones. Do you go to the draft now for your next interior defensive lineman? Of course, Jefferson, you can play him at that 5 technique. He can definitely do the 2-3 thing as well. Quinton Jefferson is one of those guys I definitely like on any team, man. Quinton Jefferson's a player, no doubt about that. It said that Jefferson returned to Seattle last offseason on a 2-year, $9.5 million deal that was set to pay him $4.485 million. His release incurs a dead money charge of $2 million. So, is that how you plan to do your roster right there? You would lessen up at that position, get some rookies in there, one like a Jalen Carter. If not him, I talked about Bryan Bresee. If not him, maybe later on in the first round, second round, something like that. Gervon Dexter, whose frame I like the most in this draft. He had an incredible combine as well, where people were kind of saying whatever about his athleticism. The guy just plays the style of football I think would be very good for the Seattle Seahawks. It would be very good for my Eagles as well. So I would want for that to happen for Philly. But if not, if you're talking about having somebody who can two-gap as good as anybody I've seen in college, getting after the run. He loves to get after the run, man. He could definitely anchor a good run defense, and he will give you something as far as getting to the passer a lot more in the NFL because he will be deployed as such. But definitely some options there if they want to go younger and less expensive at that particular position and allocate that money elsewhere. So I definitely have to be able to see what you guys are thinking on that. I want to know what you guys are thinking about that as far as the interior goes. They're getting younger right there. But moreover, I wanted to talk about the edge position. A lot of people coming to the channel, right, on some slurpy shit over a combine for one Nolan Smith. My man Nolan Smith, I've known for a long time. He was on my Big Bros True 19 program, All-Star program back in Georgia. And he is a very talented player. But a first-round pick on another edge player that's not named Will Anderson, right? If it's Will Anderson, I can kind of see it. Even with Will Anderson, I don't really see it because Seattle already has 4 edge players. They had 2 guys who've shown that they can get after the passer in the NFL. Darrell Taylor and Uchenna Nwosu both had 9.5 sacks. You have Boyet Mafi you just drafted, and he looked like he could be a player as well. Right, so if you thought Darrell Taylor can't do whatever against the run on base downs, Boyet Mafi can do that. Uchenna Nwosu, he shouldn't really come out the game, period, anyway. And then you have Tyreke Smith, who didn't make his debut, but everybody was talking about him in the preseason last year. That's 4 edge players. You want one more? Undersized cat who only had 12.5 sacks in his 4 years on campus at Georgia. Yes, he had a great combine. He's extremely explosive as far as testing numbers go. But what does that mean for the Seattle Seahawks? Is that overkill at one position when you're kind of soft up the middle and you're getting softer by the day just because you let go of a couple of guys in Shelby Harris and now Quinton Jefferson? I would think that position, interior defensive line, again, in addition to Draymond Jones, inside linebacker, both spots, right? The Bobby Wagner talk, I know that's exciting for you guys. That would be dope, no doubt about that. But even beyond him, they need some players. I knew Cody Barton. I'll be honest, I didn't know Cody Barton was a free agent to be leaving like that. So you're going to need some players at that position there. On the other side of the ball, the interior offensive line, you're going to need a couple of players there. No Gabe Jackson. The center ends up retiring. Think about that. These are all positions of need that are pretty premium. So another edge player with the first round, I don't know. Top 5, if it's Will Anderson, I can kind of see it. But even then, man, you got to get the interior defensive line help. And in the 20th pick, I've already said before, Cyrus Torrence, a guy like that, maybe an off-ball linebacker. Still going to need another running back later on in the draft. All kinds of positions that have a necessity compared to one that's superfluous with talent, like edge. I don't know. That's just my opinion there. I'm not sure anything about Nolan Smith makes sense. And I cannot stand people slurping a combine performance. It feels like you don't know your own team. What does that have to do with anything dealing with the Seattle Seahawks as far as the edge position goes? I don't understand that. And all you guys were super high on Darrell Taylor. It took me around to come around on the guy, and he showed me that he could definitely rush the passer last year. So if anything, you get him better against the run, and you got a guy who maybe can give you 13, 14 sacks. Think about that. He was in a rotation with Bruce Irvin and Boyet Mafi, and he still was able to get 9.5 sacks. What if he's the guy? Let me know. All right, it's your boy, Mid-Atlantic Murf. As always, thank you out there. Salute and strike the band.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.